be staying at Timberhill Ranch, located in the beautiful coastal mountains of Northern California. Now, this is a place that has won many prestigious awards and accolades from travel writers. I know that you're going to love it. But before we check in, we're going to take a little drive around the area and find out what there is to do. Come on. The Timberhill Ranch is located about 2.5 hours north of San Francisco, high atop the coastal mountains in the heart of Sonoma County. If you're coming from San Francisco, the choices of what to do begin just as soon as you cross over the Golden Gate Bridge. You can take Highway 1 north and enjoy the rugged Pacific coastline, or follow the Russian River Valley and tour some of the most bountiful vineyards in the world. For a third choice, you can drive due west and visit one of the many redwood groves that flourish in the foggy coastal mountains of California. If you're planning a visit to this area, you may want to check in for a stay at the Timberhill Ranch, just off the main road. Timberhill is a member of the prestigious Relais and Chateau International Hospitality Association, based in Paris. They have a 4-star rating from AAA and have been voted one of the 5 best places to stay in California by San Francisco Magazine. The ranch consists of 10 private cottages spread out around a large pond and hidden away amongst juniper, oak, and pine trees. Even on a rainy day, it's a nice place to take a walk along the many gravel paths that wind their way through the property. If it does rain during your visit, don't worry, because all the rooms have large fireplaces, long, comfortable beds covered with handmade quilts, fresh flower arrangements, and modern bronze sculptures. Large windows and natural wood walls give the cabins a warm, open feeling, the perfect place to weather a storm or just sleep in a little late. The main ranch house is made of shake cedar and has 2 large common areas, both beautifully decorated with fresh flowers, a large riverstone fireplace, and very comfortable chairs and couches for reading or enjoying a cup of tea. The day at Timberhill begins early each morning when Paula, the pastry chef, paints her homemade scones with egg wash and gets ready to pop them in the oven. Her recipe is simple: buttermilk, cream, flour, and lots of butter. Paula's scones go straight from the oven and onto one of the breakfast trays prepared each morning by Michael, one of the 4 owners here at Timberhill. Each night, guests are asked what they want and when they'd like their breakfast served. The next morning, your order will be prepared to your specifications and delivered to your cottage with the morning paper. This morning, I've decided to go with one of Michael's ham and cheese omelets, some fresh orange juice, and a hot pot of coffee. All 4 owners at Timberhill are very much involved in the day-to-day details of running an inn. Michael you've met, but there's also Taryn McDade, Barbara Farrell, and Frank here, who operate the ranch as equal partners. Michael, how did the 4 of you find Timberhill Ranch?
Sort of by accident. We were looking for property as a weekend retreat, just for the 4 of us. And we came across this one piece of property we rather liked, and we were walking around, and all of a sudden Frank, and we blame it all this all on Frank, Frank said, well, why don't we all quit our jobs and open a dude ranch?
One day, casually, I said, well, let's not worry about the price. Let's just open up a guest ranch. The other 3 got a big kick out of it and laughed at me, and the next thing I knew, Timberhill was being developed.
Frank said, isn't this beautiful, and wouldn't this be lovely? And I said, no, it wouldn't, because it's too far to commute, and it's too expensive for a second home. And he said, we're not going to do either of those. We're going to open a guest ranch. And we started talking about the concept of a guest ranch. And it just sort of took hold, and then nobody could discourage us from doing it.
The cottages at the ranch are spread out around the property. You're driven to your cottage, and your breakfast is delivered in a small electric cart. Each morning, all 4 owners chip in and deliver meals as ordered and on time. Timberhill has a very friendly personality, in part because the inn players do play such a large role in running the inn. There's something nice about having the owner deliver hot scones in the morning paper right to your room. And I don't know about you, but breakfast by a fire in your own cabin is my idea of a great way to start the day. Yes, I did. Yeah, they were out in full force. All of the cottages at the ranch have fireplaces, high ceilings, and plenty of warm, sunny windows. They all have a modern log cabin feel to the interior, and each has its own unique decorations. So how were the cottages decorated?
Well, Taryn and I are basically responsible for the decoration of all the cottages, though all 4 of us participate, but basically it's the selection of tiles and so forth are the 2 of us. And each cottage is different. Cottage 16, for example, the cottage you're in, is Taryn's favorite cottage. And she had all those tiles specially made for that cottage. She wanted a particular color. And then the quilts, all of our quilts are made by Donna Bishop in the Wallala area. And they're all handmade goose down quilts. And each one of them is made for a specific cottage to complement the colors. Your cottage is a green cottage, so it had a greenish type old-fashioned quilt in it.
How did the cottages come to have so much detailing?
Try to pay close attention to detail. And we didn't learn this from somebody else. It's just something that we felt would be very nice. So when people check in, there's always fresh flowers in every one of the cottages. And the bathroom, on the towels, we put a little flower on each one of the towels. And on the toilet paper, and we get a lot of people laugh at us this, but we put a little daisy or a little flower on the toilet paper roll. And then each one of the cottages, we want guests to feel like they're expected, that they're coming home or they're not just dropping in. So on their napkins and the matches in the room that they use to light the fireplace and the special letter addressed to them all have their names embossed in gold, which Taryn and I do every night. We're down there embossing these things so that they feel like they're expected.
Oh, hi. Enjoying your stay? Listen, don't wander off, because when we come back, we'll take you whale watching on Sentinel Rock and also find out how to make a salmon colubiac that is supposed to be out of this world. Next on Great Country Inn. Choice of activities. If you like, you can stay inside and read a book by the fireplace, and the fireplaces are always ready laid with the fire. Literally, all you have to do is just strike a match. But if you're feeling a little more energetic, there's always a hike through the redwoods or maybe a game of tennis. Timberhill is within a short driving distance of quite a few attractions. How about a champagne tour and a hot air balloon to enjoy the countryside? The Russian River Valley also has more than 40 large and small wineries. Most of them have tasting rooms and are more than willing to let you sample the wine of the day or perhaps a special Cabernet that you've been shopping for a special occasion. Also, within an hour's drive of the ranch, there are several different redwood groves that are now protected in either national or state parks. All the groves have hiking trails that offer a spectacular tour of the redwoods that grow more than 300 feet tall. People visit Timberhill Ranch for a lot of reasons, but I think it's safe to say that the natural beauty of the surrounding area is one of the best aspects of the ranch.
Other people come to watch the myriad of wildlife that we have here. It's an Audubon Society's dream. We have migrating birds as well as a blue heron, as I was telling you at breakfast this morning. And the blue heron starts at one pond and flies over and goes to the other one at the other side of the property. We have shorebirds that come here. We're only 1.25 miles from the ocean, so they do come up and use our pond. In fact, Frank put 1,000 fingerling trout in our pond about 3 years ago, and the osprey, for some reason, found out about it, and they came all the way up from the coast, and I'm not sure how many fingerling are left to grow up.
You'll find it easy to make friends, if you want to, at Timberhill. The ducks and geese are always willing to engage in a little political discourse or just to offer a friendly honk in passing. If you enjoy wildlife, you'll definitely want to walk around back to the barn, where Frank keeps 2 pot-bellied pigs and 2 llamas. That's right. What country inn could possibly function without a llama?
Well, when we first came up here, my 3 partners gave me the llamas as a pair to breed, because I stopped at a llama farm one day and this little female walked over and blinked her long eyelashes at me, and that was it. There was no denying. And so we got the pair there. The pot-bellied pigs came to us because a lady here in Sonoma County had to get rid of the brothers, and they would probably wind up in the butcher shop if we didn't take them, and they know that we're a sucker for animals, so we now have the 2 pot-bellied pigs.
While Frank finishes feeding the livestock, Michael's task this morning is preparing the large, fresh flower bouquets you'll find in each of the cottages.
Oh, flowers. Flowers are a very important part of Timberhill. As you can probably see, there are flowers everywhere. They're very important to all 4 of us. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I take the trek into San Francisco, and I buy the flowers at the San Francisco Flower Mart, and then bring them back here. And I have a special old barn down there that used to be the old cow barn here, and I've turned that into a little flower shop.
This particular bouquet is headed to cottage number 9, which is just a short cart ride to the other side of the property. All the cottages are priced for 2 people and include breakfast and dinner. Weekend rates are $350 a night, and weekdays will cost you $296 per night. The entire ranch was laid out so that all of the cottages are set off from each other and surrounded by trees to allow for more privacy and to make your stay a quiet, restful one. I know that during my stay, the most I heard was the sound of birds singing in the trees and a little rain that fell lightly one afternoon. Cottage number 9 is a warm, spacious room. You'll find the fireplace is always stocked and ready for a fire. There's a king-size bed with a handmade red quilt, and even on a rainy day, it has a perfect view of the main pond on the ranch. Timberhill Ranch has an interesting history. 100 years ago, the property was on an old stagecoach route. People from San Francisco would take a train from the city out to Petaluma, where they would then take the stage up into these mountains to enjoy the beauty of the area. At one time, Timberhill was a working ranch that raised bulls and other livestock. The main part of the ranch was built in the late 1800s. The ranch was later turned into an alternative school during the 60s, and stayed that way until the current owners purchased the land and developed it into a first-class guest ranch. One of the most popular midday activities at the ranch is to pick up one of the chef's picnic baskets and head down the mountain to the coast. It's not a bad hike at all. If anything, it will just make your lunch taste that much better. At the end of the trail, you'll find a small wooden platform with a breathtaking view. In the early spring or fall, you can often see the spray from gray whales as they migrate up and down the California coast. You may not always see whales up here, but we're pretty sure you'll always be pleased with both the view and the picnic. A typical basket might include a smoked turkey sandwich on Father Juniper's organic bread, some marinated mushrooms and pâté, always a little brie cheese with fresh grapes and berries, and a fudge brownie dessert. To top it off, a bottle of Timberhill's finest California champagne. This is a magnificent piece of California coastline. If you visit this area, even when it's not whale-watching season, it's well worth a trip out here to Sentinel Rock just to enjoy the beauty of it all. Stay with us. We'll be headed back to Timberhill Ranch to warm up in the hot tub. Tough job, I know. And also find out what Chef Bob is preparing for dinner next on Great Country Inn. dramatic sculptures that are scattered around the property. They were actually done by a neighbor down the road by the name of Bruce Johnson. In fact, some people call him the chainsaw artist of Timberhill. Bruce, as you can see, is no conventional artist. Takes large pieces of redwood from the surrounding area and uses a 5-foot chainsaw to give the wood the desired form. This particular piece will become a tall bell tower when he's finished. One of Bruce's larger pieces is named The Family and sits just outside of the main dining room at Timberhill. He carved the piece from redwood and then covered parts of it with copper plating. He says the statue was inspired by his daughter and intended to show how a man and a woman are connected by their children. Another piece is found on the far end of the property and is called Memory. Most of Bruce's artwork involves carved wood that is then covered with different types of sheet metals to create a certain design, color, and texture. Back at the ranch, Timberhill chef is starting what will eventually be either a featured appetizer or an entree for this evening's meal, Timberhill salmon kalubiak.
It's basically a mousse of Dover sole and salmon, and I put a little spinach in there for color and because I happen to have it laying around anyway. So I made a fish mousse out of Dover sole and a little dill and some cream and an egg, and I used the Cuisinart. And so then I rolled out the puff pastry, I laid the sole down, and then I put a layer of spinach, which has also been pureed, and then some raw fillet of salmon. And then, again, spinach and more sole. Wrap the whole thing up in the puff pastry. Brushed it with a little egg wash. Pop it in the oven, 35 minutes.
Around 6:30, guests can be found enjoying the views from the back deck of their cabins, or maybe a glass of Sonoma County Chardonnay. What part does romance play here at Timberhill?
Oh, let's put it this way. We've had some people come up just for the purpose of having another child. Right.
Very romantic.
Yes, and we can show you our bulletin board in there of all the children that was conceived here at Timberhill.
So it's a fertile place in more ways than one.
It's a beautiful place in more ways than one, yes, right.
7 o'clock is dinner time at the Timberhill Ranch. Guests are gathering in the main dining hall, enjoying an appetizer or maybe a glass of wine before dinner. In the kitchen, one of Paula's famous pies is coming out of the oven to cool. And it's showtime for Chef Bob.
Well, that's usually the critical time of day. You know, if we have a large group coming in, all the last-minute details are getting ready, like get our garnishes ready, all our herbs, and we'll just come back from the garden with little flowers and the herbs, and we'll put them in little glasses and things like this and have it all ready to go. So when we're preparing, when I'm pulling the stuff out of the ovens or sautéing the stuff on the, you know, whatever it is, that when the orders come in, our what we call mise en place is all ready here, and we don't have to run around too much and try to get all the details done in that last half hour. I've got the 2 entrees that we're serving at this time, and it's the kalubiak, and we also have the sautéed tenderloin medallions of beef with a saga blue sauce. I'll get it nice and hot. Take the tenderloin beef medallions, 2 little 3-ounce steaks, sear them very quickly, remove them from the pan. Then I'll toss some chopped shallots in there, deglaze with a little brandy, or in this case some cognac, and then beef stock, and finish it with a little blue cheese, the saga blue, which is a soft ripened Danish blue cheese, my personal favorite. Then I just pour it over the top of the beef, and away it goes.
That's going to be just wonderful, I know.
Excuse me.
Hi, Barbara.
How are you?
Ooh, this is your Timberhill kalubiak.
Hope it's to your satisfaction.
I think so.
And Michael, your beef medium rare.
This
Please
looks
enjoy.
wonderful.
Well,
Thank you
please
very
enjoy.
much. Yes, indeed.
Well, I tell you, it's the end of a marvelous day here at the Timberhill Ranch. And, Michael, I'd like to thank you and all the other owners for an incredible day. Thank you. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. Unfortunately, it's also the end of our program, but I'm Donna Hamilton, hoping that you'll join us again next week for more great country inns. Goodbye. You're here. This is just beautiful.